Liana by Tasha here, beginning the arc. Peace and nature. That's what I needed. Something's been bugging me since I watched a video this morning, and it's also been bugging me for a while. And I say this all with great respect for the masters, Buddha, and all of the teachings in the Zen, Tao, Buddhist lineage, Eastern philosophy, and all that they have done to enlighten humans and unchain them from their own suffering and provided peace to many, many people. And so thank you. And it's not only the issue that I take that gets brought up a lot is not only with Eastern philosophy and spirituality, it's also in Western philosophy as well. And it's basically, in a nutshell, anytime there's they say desire is a hindrance or a distraction or a demon or something bad that you have to control, get rid of, basically, or the two options that this monk was telling people to do. Okay, so you have sensual desire. You can, this is him speaking, ideally you would create a life where you don't have sensual desire. And then if you can't do that, then you figure out how to manage it and control it. And I understand the non-attachment, because we're so much more than our desires. And yet, the aspect that I am very frustrated by is a very old pattern of men and the male brain and everyone has this, honestly, to generalize one's own experience and say, oh, this is for all human beings. This is for everyone. And even in our language, they used to say man when they meant human. But did they really mean human? Because sometimes when I listen to a man speaking and generalizing, saying, oh, this is a universal truth, it doesn't resonate with me. It actually goes against some deep aspects of myself. And I am frustrated by that. And the male privilege, the male hubris, the male arrogance to be like, no, my male experience is actually, and this is built into our society, that the male experience, the male body is built into, that's what's the word? That's the brickwork that we all build off of. So even in the Leonardo da Vinci's depiction of a man, that's that's the epitome of human in a way. So I just feel like to take the simpler biological form and make that the standard sets us up for not disaster. Disaster is a strong word, but sets us up for sets up the simpler biological form, sets them up for a really long, steep educational journey to understand the more complex life form, which is women. Obviously, we are very complex. You can't see everything. So much is going on in there. And also, we all have nipples. We all have breasts in a way. And so biologically, we actually start off as female, more female than male in a way. And so if you take the more biologically complex body and have that as your standard, then understanding the simpler biological creature is much easier. And so to me, that's just more logical to go about it that way. But that's not my issue. That was a caveat. So the fact that men just think that their way is the way for everyone and that it applies to everyone is frustrating, and I really want men to check your male privilege every time even a master steps up and says these are universal truths. And I mean, check me. Are these universal truths? And does that make sense? Check it in your own body and your own brain, your own rational thinking ability. And so let's get to the nitty-gritty of the issue that I see, and perhaps some of the reasons maybe why men are so against desire when they're trying to like be spiritually pure and masters of their own self. And to me, master is another way of saying control and power over. So power over oneself. And desire is actually desire is a relationship with the other, with that which is outside of us. And truly, honestly, nothing is truly outside of us. So I understand that separation is the illusion and that we are all one. So reaching out is sometimes can be a toxic reaching out and can be an overextending. But desire, let's not judge it, let's not shame it, let's not put good or bad judgments onto it. Just desire. It is about the other, about relationship and connection. And I feel like there's a lot of surrender in that. And this is my theory, my thoughts, these right now, that men men struggle to surrender a lot more than women. And men have also been conditioned to always be in control, to always be in the position of power. And if they're not, then they can end up being ridiculed by each other, by themselves, by their partners. And hi, Robin. Hello. Cute little Robin. Tweet, tweet, tweet. So I understand that it's not always easy to surrender. I know that. And yet there is such great pleasure and power, and it's a different kind of power. And so yes, it is giving away power over. And I think men are conditioned to want to have power over and be in control. And so desire gets demonized because it is an act of surrender, and it is about the other, and it is a loss of power over. There's a deer over there too. Oh my god. Nature. I love nature. So that's why I feel like Eastern and even Western traditions demonize desire, and I think it's because men fear surrendering. And I think, okay, we're kind of in a mess. I think we can agree to that we're in a big old mess on our planet, and there's a lot of things that are wrong. And to me, this whole world is ass backwards. Basically, like everything, flip it. And it's like, oh, okay. Not everything, but a lot of things. And it's overwhelming, and I understand that. So basically, we're in a crisis. We're in like multiple crises, really. And the thinking that got us into this mess is not the thinking that's going to get us out of this mess. So, men, the way that you think and that you've created this world, because men have been basically ruling the world for centuries, and not just men, you know, older men, men with privilege, white, wealthy, and maybe even psychopathic. You know, it's like not the people that you really want in positions of leadership have been leading this planet for a long time. And so that their thinking, and this masculine way of thinking about the world, about cutting off desire and controlling it and having power over, is not how we are going to get through. And so I do feel a very strong need for men to learn how to surrender graciously to the feminine, to relationships. And yet I know it's not easy, because there's all these fears of what does that mean, and will I just be infantilized, and all of these images, and things come up, and I understand that, and yet surrender is actually a mighty, beautifully divine act. It is an act. It is an action, and then a release of control. And honestly, none of us are in control. So I just wanted to speak these words because I see so many men trying to become monks and cut off desire, and every time I see or hear a man say, "Oh, desire, no," and then I connect with my Hebrew priestess organization, or just this romance, love and power and romance workshop, and just the power of love, the power of desire, and the power of the feminine. And that really one of the things that we need is to really love this world so much and desire a new world on this planet, and then birth a new world onto this planet. That is what we need. And that isn't about detachment. That is about like holding on to this beautiful planet and saying, yes, this mother, our collective mother, our planet Earth, needs us to return to her, and we need her. We are in such mental, emotional, spiritual, physical anguish. And if we come back to simpler ways of living, we will be happier. And yeah, there's some discomforts, like, ooh, bugs. I've become one with bugs. I say hi to bugs. And I guess that also comes with having a lot of alone time. And that I'm like, okay, these are my buddies. And yeah. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's clear. And I feel like there's just so much about desire, and there's so many people that I could thank for contributing to this this notion. I think Chaia Heller wrote a book called Rethinking Desire, and I have that book. The tag of it is slipping my mind, but there's just a lot more to life, and I think non-attachment is good in general, but also sometimes holding on for dear life is also important too. Dear, dear life. Thank you, thank you.